Welcome to CNN World SST, your go-to channel for uncovering the hidden gems in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who's curious about the stories and values behind the coins in your pocket, we've got something for you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that you might not expect to be valuable, the 1972 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. Stay with us as we unravel the fascinating details of this coin, including its history, unique features, and why it could be worth much more than you think. When you think of the Roosevelt dime, the first thing that might come to mind is its small, almost unassuming appearance. After all, it's just a 10-cent coin, right? But as with so many things in life, there's much more beneath the surface. The 1972 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of how even the smallest coin can carry a wealth of history, significance, and of course, value. Let's start by exploring the origins of the Roosevelt dime. Introduced in 1946, the dime was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away the previous year. Roosevelt was not only a beloved president but also a strong advocate for the fight against polio, a disease that he himself battled. The March of Dimes, a campaign initially aimed at raising money to combat polio, was closely associated with Roosevelt. So it made perfect sense to place his image on the dime, a coin that would come to symbolize his legacy. The design of the Roosevelt dime has remained largely unchanged since its introduction, featuring a profile of Roosevelt on the obverse, front, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, back. These symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength, values that Roosevelt championed throughout his life and presidency. But what makes the 1972 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime particularly special? To answer that, we need to look at a few key aspects: the mint mark, the coin's condition, and any potential errors that might exist. First, let's talk about the mint mark. The D you see on the 1972 Roosevelt dime stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was produced. In the world of numismatics, the mint mark can play a significant role in a coin's value. Coins from different mints can have different levels of rarity and demand. For instance, a coin minted in Denver might be more common than one minted in San Francisco, but there are always exceptions, especially when it comes to coins with errors or those in exceptional condition. The 1972 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is made of a copper nickel clad, which was standard for dimes starting in 1965, following the Coinage Act of 1965. This act eliminated silver from dimes and quarters, marking the end of an era. Before this, dimes were made of 90% silver, which contributed to their intrinsic value. However, even without the silver content, the 1972 D Roosevelt dime can still be quite valuable, depending on its condition and any unique characteristics it might have. One of the most important factors in determining the value of any coin is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, mint condition coin that has never been circulated. For the 1972 D Roosevelt dime, a higher grade, such as one in mint state, can significantly increase its value. Coins in this condition have their original luster, sharp details, and no signs of wear. They are the cream of the crop for collectors. But what really gets collectors excited are minting errors. These are mistakes made during the coin production process that result in unique and often rare coins. Minting errors can take many forms, from double dies to off-center strikes, and they can dramatically increase a coin's value. One possible error that collectors might look for in the 1972 D Roosevelt dime is a double die. This occurs when the die, the metal piece that stamps the design onto the coin, is not properly aligned, causing parts of the design to be imprinted twice. This doubling can often be seen in the letters, numbers, or even the profile of Roosevelt himself. A double-die Roosevelt dime is a rare find, and when one is discovered, it can fetch a high price among collectors. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. As the name suggests, this occurs when the coin is not perfectly centered during the striking process, leading to a design that is shifted to one side. The more off-center the strike, the rarer, and often more valuable, the coin becomes. Off-center strikes are fascinating to collectors because they represent a moment of imperfection in a process that is typically very precise. There's also the possibility of finding a Roosevelt dime with a die crack. This happens when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack, which then gets imprinted onto the coins it produces. Die cracks can appear as lines or breaks in the coin's design, and depending on their size and location, they can add to the coin's uniqueness and value. But errors aren't the only thing that can make a 1972 D Roosevelt dime valuable. The overall rarity of the coin in certain conditions is also a key factor. While millions of these dimes were minted in 1972, finding one in pristine condition, especially one that has never been circulated, can be a challenge. Coins that have been well preserved and stored in ideal conditions can fetch a much higher price than those that have been subject to the wear and tear of everyday use. Speaking of preservation, let's talk about the importance of proper coin storage. For collectors, how a coin is stored can make all the difference in maintaining its value. Coins should be kept in a cool, dry environment, ideally in a holder or album that prevents them from coming into contact with air, moisture, or other coins. Even a small scratch or smudge can reduce a coin's grade and, by extension, its value. For those serious about preserving the value of their 1972 Roosevelt dime, investing in quality storage solutions is a must. Now, you might be wondering how a coin that was produced in such large quantities could be worth more than its face value, especially if it doesn't contain any precious metals like silver or gold. The answer lies in the combination of factors we've discussed: condition, rarity, and errors. When you find a coin that checks all these boxes, it can become highly sought after by collectors who are willing to pay a premium for it. One of the reasons the 1972 Roosevelt dime can be valuable is because of its place in a larger series of coins. The Roosevelt dime series has been in continuous production since 1946, and while the design has remained consistent, each year's minting brings the possibility of new variations and errors. Collectors who are passionate about completing a full set of Roosevelt dimes will often seek out coins from specific years, especially those with mint marks from different locations. In addition to the historical context, the design of the Roosevelt dime itself is a work of art. The portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse was created by sculptor John R. Sinek, who was the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. Sinek's design captures Roosevelt's strong, determined expression, a reflection of his leadership during some of the most challenging times in American history. The reverse design, with its torch, olive branch, and oak branch, is a symbol of the ideals that Roosevelt stood for: liberty, peace, and strength. As we near the end of our exploration of the 1972 Roosevelt dime, it's clear that this small coin holds much more than just 10 cents of value. It's a piece of history, a work of art, and, for some, a valuable collectible. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, the 1972 Roosevelt dime is a coin that deserves a place in your collection. But before we wrap up, there's one final piece of the puzzle to reveal: the value. After all, that's what we've been building up to throughout this video. So, how much is a 1972 Roosevelt dime really worth? If you have a 1972 Roosevelt dime in mint state condition, with sharp details, original luster, and no signs of wear, it could be worth up to $3,000. That's right, this little dime, if well preserved, could fetch a significant sum on the collector's market. And if you happen to find one with a rare error, like a double die or off-center strike, the value could be even higher. For those who are lucky enough to own a 1972 Roosevelt dime, now might be the perfect time to have it appraised and possibly graded. You never know, you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the 1972 Roosevelt dime. We hope you found this video informative and engaging. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to CNN World SST for more fascinating stories about the coins that could be hiding in your pocket. And as always, keep an eye out. You never know when you might find your next valuable coin.